Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Alexandra Palace. Well, that was rather academic, wasn't it, for Stephen Bunting, who has ended the year on a high, and he may even start 2025 on a high as he sets up a quarter-final with Peter Wright, and that tantalises the taste buds. And we've already seen 3 results this afternoon. Kevin Doots proving a bit of a hard nut to crack when he was up against Chris Dobey a little bit earlier on, but Hollywood got through eventually by 4-3. Callan Ridds, his pal from just down the road in Bedlington in Northumberland, did the same against Robert Owen, who put up a fantastic fight. But in the last game of the afternoon, it was a bit of a weird one, as Ricardo Pietreczko of Germany, the last standing German, didn't provide any sort of resistance for the Nathan Aspinall. But at the end of that one, Nathan had a chat with us at talkSPORT 2 to let us know how it went.
Yeah, it's, I don't think Ricardo, that's not what he envisioned this morning when he woke up, and neither did I. I thought it was going to be a very tough game. He played well in this tournament, probably better than myself. But yeah, I've got to go up there, do a job, don't matter how you win. I did that in the game prior. I went up there, did a job, and won 4-0, and I've done the same again today. So it was great signs. The last 2 sets when I was relaxed, that probably the last 2 sets were probably the first time I've been relaxed on that stage since I've been here. But again, the finishing was great. My scoring was a bit better today. So, another step in the right direction. 89, 93, I don't know, 94, 95. I'm going to need more next game. But listen, 4-0, very happy.
How tough is it when there's not a great deal coming back?
Again, that's what I've said. I've been criticised. I said it in the interview a minute ago on social media about my performances, but I won 4-0. The game before. What more do you want from me? You know what I mean? I won 4-0. I dropped 7 legs last game. I don't even know what 2 or 3 then. I'm like, they don't print averages on trophies and 180s and all that kind of stuff. I let the name people do that. I just want to win.
Okay.
But it was a better performance. I felt a lot more comfortable from the start. But then last 2 sets, I've shown people what I can do, and that's what I've been doing in practice. And I'm very relaxed, and hopefully now the next game. Now all I want to do is get the quarters. That was my target: get to the quarter final. If people say win the tournament, for me, I want to get to the quarterfinals. Got to the quarterfinals, so now for the first game, next game there'll be no pressure on me.
And his next game will be against either Luke Littler or Ryan Joyce. That game is to come. That will be the last game of PDC darts in 2024. Not a bad one to end on, really, with the number 4 seed and the most fancied person to win the tournament. But we can't forget about other people, including Nathan Aspinall, who was saying all the right things there, Mace.
Yeah, listen, it's good to see him back and enjoying his darts and getting stuck in. It's been a tough 12 months for Nathan, and listen, he's a 2-time major winner, isn't he? And there's lots more left in the tank. Still a young man. Now that his injury's sorted, and he seems to be, listen, he relocated as well to a new home. He's managing his time better, I think, and he's applying himself. And I think we're just going to continue to see a better version of the Asp.
There's been a lot made of the northeast of England. Probably a lot of my fault today. I do apologise for that. However, Chris Dobey through, Callan Ridds through, but then we turn our attention to the northwest of England, because Aspinall through and now Bunting through. It's not just talkSPORT Toon today, it's talkSPORT North, because Bunting going through, that's not really a shock, but I suppose Woodhouse, he's going to think, what a great tournament, but went out in a way that he wouldn't have liked.
Yeah, but I look at it this way. He didn't have the easiest of draws. Ilagan can be a spot of bother for anybody, and he dealt with him beautifully, 3-0. Then the De Decker win. All right, De Decker didn't turn up. That isn't his fault, but he beat him 3-1. And then beating Heta, who hit a 9-darter, which is turning out to be a bit of a curse at the moment here at Ali Pali. He beat him 4-3, and he showed lots of bottle at times in that game. And that'll give him lots of confidence going forward. His seasonal average is around 93. His tournament average here was 91.5. So he is playing to type. But the problem he's got to find another gear from somewhere. He's got to find a way of introducing that much higher ceiling, because it's evident that it's just not there at the moment.
Does winning on the PDC Tour in 2025 allow him to unlock that, because he still hasn't won?
Yeah, but we don't know where it is. We we haven't seen it unlocked, and I don't know whether he needs to maybe go off and get some advice or change the type of practice. Maybe he practices with someone who's too inferior to him, who's not pushing his buttons and making him, you know, it's all right worrying about it, going and do it on the Pro Tour, because as we know, look, you can win games with 90 averages. He's won 3, 94, 88, 92. Pro Tour is a different animal. Very
much so. Away from big stages and big audiences like this.
It's the ultimate environment. It's the perfect environment to play darts. You don't have to worry about a choke. You don't have to worry about hearing people go, board 7, Chris Mason versus Paul Nicholson, as you're about to throw for a double 16. The hockeys are all identical. It's exact. It's measured to its perfection. It's darts in perfection, and environment where you've got to be chucking in those 110s, 115s, the 9 darters, the big finishes. And like I said, I don't know enough about Luke to find out, you know, where his game is in terms of, or his practice game, because that's where the hard yards are done. It'd be a bit like Daniel Dubois sparring with me. It would be a pointless day out, but 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds.
It hasn't been a pointless day for England, because they've got 4 people today only into the quarter-finals to add to Gerwen Price of Wales and Peter Wright. It's not been a bad night for Newcastle so far. They're 1-0 up at Old Trafford.
Go on the tune.
It's actually 2-0. I've just had someone in my ear tell me that Joe Linton has scored, and if you somewhat foolishly decide to go and join Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy and don't want to listen to darts on the radio anymore, well, that's entirely up to you.
Just get the app and keep going, or just stick with us. We'll tell you what's going on in the football anyway.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll keep you up to date. But now we turn our attention to the Netherlands and Sweden, and this does have an all-Dutch feel to it, because Geoffrey de Graaf and Michael van Gerwen grew up together playing darts in the same country, but now represent other countries. They're of a similar age. Michael is 35, Geoffrey de Graaf is 34. They've only played a couple of times.
Well, in official games, but I'm sure locally in Holland they would have played a lot in their equivalent to the Super League and our equivalent to sort of local knockouts. So I'm sure listen, they're good players of this game inside out. And listen, if it was a big ask for Luke Woodhouse, it's a bigger ask for de Graaf. But in a similar fashion with Woodhouse, who lost his last 9 against Bunting, the last time they met was not that long ago, was it?
No, it wasn't that long ago at all. And Geoffrey is someone who's already taken out Gary Anderson in this tournament. Now he's eyeing a 3-time world champion to cause an even bigger upset of sorts.
Yeah, and there's like a pattern here. You see him, he beat Rashad 3-1 with a 92, very good against Anderson with a 95, the Braden 90. You know, we're in around that. We're in around that Woodhouse kind of range, or that middle range of 93-ish. Yes, listen, people have beat MVG this season, but not here and not at the Worlds.
No, and I think we've got to be honest about this fixture. Van Gerwen is a huge favourite for good reason. He is a better player. Even when he's not at his peak, he's a better player. But we've got to be fair to Geoffrey. That win against Anderson was brilliant. He did very well. But aside from that, he's had a good draw.
Yes, yeah, and listen, everything's fell into place. His average for the season is 89.29. MVG's, even in a bad season, is still over 97. The 180 tally, 4.58 for MVG, 3.46, which is impressive by de Graaf, and he was impressive in that department against Nebreda. He hit 8. I mean, MVG hit 10. That seems to have gone under the radar against Dolan.
One thing that seems to have escaped most people over the last couple of days as well is that Geoffrey de Graaf was the first representative of Sweden to make the last 32 of the PDC World Championship, and now he's in the last 16. So he's flying the flag for his new country extremely well. I dug so deep that I only found multiple visits to the last 64 by the great Magnus Carus, and he hasn't been here for nearly a decade.
He would have played you where he maybe wouldn't have even had to play a prelim. Yes, it's fascinating when you think of the amount of players from Sweden over the years. So listen, he's going in the right direction, Geoffrey. He went away and he reinvented himself. We've seen him down at the Super Series prior to him getting a card, and he's in shape, he's keen, he's applying himself. as you say, relocated with his partner, learnt Swedish, which is mind-blowing enough just to, never mind then make the last 16 of the Worlds. But yeah, he's a real likeable guy. He's got a great work ethic, but he really is up against tonight, because me and you both think MVG is going to come out tonight and make a bit of a statement.
Indeed. We're about to get underway. The dancers, the referee Kirk Bevins, the chalkers, as we call them from our generation. They use pens these days, though.
Yeah,
Andrew
they're
Davies of Wales.
Markers now.
Yeah, Andrew Davies of Wales and Charlie Gardner of Surrey.
Whose
Will Fleck, the
father
referee,
graced many a stage, of course.
Yeah, Richie Gardner.
He was as quick as Ricky Evans.
Indeed he was. But now let's get underway. It's time for the penultimate match of 2024, starring Michael van Gerwen and Jeffrey de Sweden. This is interesting. MVG is the favourite by far. This would be one of the shocks of the tournament if Jeffrey can pull it off. Let's go down to John McDonald.
Of the Paddy Power World Dance Championship, coming to you live on Sky Sports from the Alexandra Palace, London. All brought to you by the Professional Dance Corporation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the players. Would you please welcome Sweden's #1, taking part in his 4th World Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the Nordic and Baltic champion. It's time to meet Jeffrey.
Aces and Arrows on the talkSPORT YouTube channel is our 3rd episode of our podcast. And you'll get where I'm coming from with birthdays.
The winner of 157 PDC titles
is about to go very green.
Greener.
A 6-time World Grand Prix champion. The winner of 7 Premier League titles. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3-time champion of the world, mighty Michael
He has the look of a guy with the punch power of Mike Tyson going to jump in the ring with someone with a chin like David Price. He looks like there's not a nerve in his body. He's all business, not really engaging with anybody, gives the crowd a quick thumbs up, and it's straight to the officials on stage. It will be no doubt a respectful handshake, but nothing more. He just wants to get on with this.
And he gives a wink to the crowd as well, as if to say, watch what I'm about to do. Well, we expect, Michael. We saw you do good things in the last couple of rounds. He dismantled James Hurrell. He took care of Brendan Dolan, and that was hard. 97.01 average for MVG in that one. Brendan tested him, and at that point we thought, if he can come through a test like that, he will feel more fierce and ready for the next challenge, which is not what he expected. He probably thought he was going to run into Gary Anderson at this stage. We all did.
We all certainly did. Myself and Nico, go back and look at episode 1 of Aces and Arrows. We both felt that Gary Anderson would be here right now and possibly beat Michael van Gerwen to at least make it into the quarters and then move smoothly into the semis.
It's not Michael's fault that Jeffrey beat him.
No, absolutely not.
Now his job is to get rid of Jeffrey. So, moving into this one, all the focus in set 1 is to get the lead. Jeffrey has the darts. We've had some really interesting bull shootouts downstairs. Actually, last night, Jeffrey de Graaf was involved in a bull-off with Paulina Breda that lasted 12 rotations.
Wow.
That means that they were tied in either getting bullseye, the 25, or the outside of the 25, tied 11 times, and then somebody won it on the 12th attempt.
That's incredible. Well, both a positive start. A 134 from de Graaf was answered by MVG with a 140. Now, Nico, there's an alarming stat that we need to address.
Treble-less visits. De Graaf, 68-33. Now, I know that de Graaf has played one more game, but that's still a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge difference. Michael down to 268. De Graaf on throw, 97 down to 210. So there's already an opportunity here.
Michael using a natural tungsten dart with some very subtle grip on it. It's not just a ring around the dart, there's a little bit of vertical indentation.
Yeah, well, Winmau have created this shot blaster that replicates wear rather than shot blasting.
He'll do anything with darts these days. And even with his exact dart, which he has, they've introduced hand filing in case you want to lose half a gram. Welcome to modern day engineering, as de Graaf goes for 70 to take the first leg in possibly 14 darts. Misses double 8. He thought it was in. Don't worry, Jeffrey, you've still got a dart left at double 4. And he misses it left. You can't afford to do that against Michael.
No, that could be costly. Now, I'll tell you a little story about my trip to Wimbledon when MVG finds double 10, which he does. 15 dart breaker throw, a bit of an early statement attempt. Yeah, I went down there, so I got this idea. I said, what I've done, I've got some permanent marker on my darts, and I practice with them until it's worn out in the exact places I want extra grip and a scallop. You and I know what you want. So like, I literally sort of sat there going, really? He said, yeah, give me that dart, the one that you've worn the pattern out on. I went, there you go. Literally 10 minutes later he comes back, is that what you meant? I was like, that's exactly what I meant. And I used them for a long, long time. They were beautiful. If
you're a darts fan or someone who, as Michael goes for the first maximum of the match after dropping his third dart, of course he hits it. Silly us to question him. He's the best player of the last generation. But if you are a darts fan or a dart player, you haven't lived until you've seen tungsten twisted through an ENC machine to make something very exact. Well, de Graaf comes back with a maximum of his own. And now comes Van Gerwen with the 19s. Doesn't get enough. It's only 133. And it leaves another bogey number, which he seems to be leaving a lot more.
Shouldn't he have been gone for the ball with dart 3 there?
Do you want to go and tell him that?
All right, no. I'll leave it. This is a great leg from de Graaf. He's got 46 left after 9 to instantly break straight back. And we've seen enough of him down at the Super Series to know he has some levels to his game.
He does. But if he doesn't take 46 out, he's going to be 2-0 down. Van Gerwen's sitting on 32 after 12. Double 18.
And he loves it over there.
He really does. He's got to be up there with one of the best double 18 hitters in the tournament. It's something he leaves a lot on purpose because he's got a sweet spot in front of his eye and it just feels comfortable.
Yeah, he's certainly far from a... Oh, he's a tall enough guy, and that seems to be on the end of a bit of string, that double 18 sometimes. It's right in his eye line. It's right in that swing of his action.
If you think Jeffrey de Graaf is a new thing, forget about it. It's nearly 10 years now since he was in the BDO World Trophy final, losing that final by 10 legs to 9 to Geert de Vos.
Yeah, I remember him as a youth player when I was sort of like towards the end of my playing days. There was a whole crop of them out there. Joey Tenberger, and sadly no longer with his tomb grave.
Yeah, Jeffrey in that tournament, it was actually held in Manchester, lost to de Vos of Belgium in the final, beat Jeff Smith of Canada, he's graced this place.
Many times.
Beat him 9-7 in the semi-finals. And beat a certain Martin Phillips in the last 16 as well, the Welsh World Master, famous bin man.
Welsh legend, only 60 from MVG. De Graaf's getting him at it here. He's down to 210, 1-all set 1, 260 de Graaf. Treble 20, and it's beautifully positioned in the board. Yeah, no surprise it's followed.
Well, 2 really good darts in the treble 20, then the third one was as bad as the first 2 were good. It was awful. It was right in the middle of the 5. He must have And surely.
Yeah.
He's got 1-3-5 to be 2-1 up in the first set here on talkSPORT 2. Jeffrey de Graaf, affectionately known by the players as Jeffrey the Giraffe.
Gets to 25, leaves 110, and it's a great guide. Another bad dart.
49.
Yeah, he's left himself a bit to do. 118 for the third consecutive breaker throw in the match. Treble 20's found.
Single 18 for Van Gerwen and tops. Ian very much. He does his best impression of the scream. That famous painting. And if you want to have a little smartphone tonight, whilst listening to darts on the radio, why don't you amalgamate MVG's celebration and that famous painting, and it would be a thing of beauty. It's 2-1 to Van Gerwen in the first set.
Yeah, only starts with 59. But no damage done. 81 from de Graaf. I think this is key, the way this match plays out, even this early in a best-of-7 set match, as MVG nearly finds another max.
He looks really up for this, MVG. And why wouldn't he be? This is your last game of the year, day off tomorrow, give it everything, recharge, and then go again, possibly for 3 straight days to start 2025.
Well, the way the last 18 months have gone for him in majors, he's desperate to... He's desperate to do something, isn't he?
Well, who's going to talk about 2024 and Michael Van Gerwen if he wins the 2025 World Championship? A lot of things are forgotten. It's like an eraser to a lot of mistakes made with a pencil. Down for the 19s for Michael from 205.
Yeah, that'll do. Down to 109. De Graaf way back on 286. Michael leads 2-1 in set 1. So we'll come back at 109, but he's going to be... Oh, that's remarkable. That's not gone in. Oh, I know, because I tipped over 9.518 is in the match.
109 for Van Gerwen. 19 to start. Then he gets 225s. He was trying to go bull tops. That was a somewhat risky 225 visit at the end, but it's worked. To lead tops, it is for the set. It is for the set now, because de Graaf does not take 146 out, only gets 47. That is waving the white flag. You don't expect Van Gerwen to miss this. He's 2 from 3 on his doubles. In fact, make that 3 from 4. That's a brilliant first set. From the 2014, 2017 and 2019 champion of the world. 103.79 to start, with 75% on the doubles, and he broke de Graaf in that set. When we come back after the break, we'll give you an update on the score at Old Trafford, and we'll have a second set on the Ali Pali stage on talkSPORT 2.
talkSPORT 2, official broadcast partner of the
And we'll be back on New Year's Day with double darts in the afternoon with 2 quarterfinals and then 2 quarterfinals in the evening session before we go evenings only on the 2nd and 3rd of January, which will be live on talkSPORT for the semis and final, which will be thrilling, Chris Mason.
Yeah, and if you need your fix on New Year's Day, don't forget the all-new talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, where you'll find loads of exclusive interviews and interviews in full. And then, of course, over on the main talkSPORT YouTube channel, you will find myself, Nico, Abby, Mark Wilson, Ian Danter, as we have brought you Aces and Arrows, the podcast, which has been great fun.
It has.
And quite insightful. We've had plenty of feedback. We've had over 1 million views on our YouTube Darts channel already.
Yeah, nice to have everybody watching along. And hello to everybody subscribing tonight, watching.
Make sure you do subscribe.
Really to have your company. Just a quick update from Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2. Joe Linton and Alexander Isak with the goals. But in this game, Michael van Gerwen has broken Jeffrey de Graaf by winning that first set by 3 legs to 1. 104 average, pretty much their Mace.
Yeah.
Doubles were excellent, hit a max. What more could you ask for?
Nothing for an opening set where you're just trying to settle 75% on your doubles. Like you say, as near as damn it, a 104 average. De Graaf not disgraced himself. 97.23, missed a couple of darts at doubles, but all in all, a nice start by both.
42.
What's de Graaf got to change? Is there anything obvious that we can surmise here from set 1 that he has to improve on to get back into this match?
Well, I'm looking, saying, oh, he's got to score better, but he had 3 140s to Van Gerwen's 2 in that set. He matched him in terms of 180s. It's pretty much matching him in scores of between a ton and 139. It was just maybe some shots on the approach, maybe, I don't know. It's not, listen, when someone's popping in a 104 average, it's tough.
Let's not forget as well that Michael did hit a 118 checkout. That was key in that set, because it makes sure that he takes a clinical leg without de Graaf getting an opportunity. Michael really does look switched on tonight. The fact that he could possibly not be involved in the quarterfinals this year seems like an impossibility to him. The draw has opened up for him, and the winner of this one will take on a certain Callan Rids, making his second appearance in the quarterfinals.
That could be lively.
Whoever he plays. Rids over the moon to be there. Van Gerwen wants to join him. 135 for him. The 135 he gets. You will not see a prettier 135 than that. Everything in the middle.
I think he was just gutted that he couldn't pile in a max, but that would have busted his score, of course.
That would have been funny if he'd matched, then taken the 135 in tops. But this is not an exhibition. This is business. He's doing exactly what Stephen Bunting did in the previous match. He's the better player, and he's proving it.
Yeah, and that was something I discussed with Mark. It was the way he managed the match. I know this isn't match play in terms of the format, but his match play was beautiful. He controlled everything. Once he got in front, he just sort of kept you at arm's length and just controlled every aspect of the game. It's another 2 treble 20s and then just missing on the 3rd.
Do we give Van Gerwen enough credit for his career?
Yeah, God, yeah. And listen, there's always that thing, but this is a compliment. It's not a critique. He's only won 3 worlds, but he's won, like, what is it, 157 PDC titles around the world.
423.
Listen, if he isn't the greatest of all time, he's in the top 2.
Correct.
To paraphrase.
That is not even up for debate. I mean, we really did respect Eric when Eric was with us, and Raymond van Barneveld, but they didn't have the ceiling of a Van Gerwen at his peak. Or
the longevity.
Yeah, Michael's been around a long time, and he's still doing things like that. A max to leave 58 and de Graaf. He's just getting further away.
Barney's been around a long time, but in terms of picking up ranked majors, it's a long time ago.
Tops for Van Gerwen for 2-0 in the second set. He won the first one, And he's won the second leg of the second set already. Not a lot of hockey. 10 minutes and 20 seconds to get him on the cusp of 2-0 up on talkSPORT 2.
12-dart breaker throw, backing up the 104 from set 1, currently averaging 108 in set 2. Like you say, a leg away from wrapping this set up in double quick time.
We'll continue that debate about all-time great players, I'm sure, with aces and arrows in the future.
Yeah, well, there's you know, there's loads we want to do, include like remembering past greats. There was that era where, and I was in it really, where you're now forgotten as a player, and I don't think you should be. You know, we both felt that I thought it would have been lovely on finals night to allow one more walk-on for Steve Beaton and give him the opportunity to say goodbye in front of this incredible Ali Pali crowd.
I'm yet to have that conversation with the PDC, but I will be having it before the end of the night. 1-8 for Van Gerwen. He's 2-0 up, and de Graaf, if he gave him 4 darts at the minute, he'd still be losing because Van Gerwen's playing so much better than Jeffrey. 1-8. There's an 18, big one, just above the treble. That's a wild one, into the small 5 and then into the treble 7. So I mean, there was a bag of nails there.
There was a case there, Nico, to just stay on the 18. It was such a good marker. He was never going for the ball. Not with de Graaf back on 288. Oh.
Well, apparently Jeffrey de Graaf is playing for Hypotenuse United. So he's getting so many angles in there. Well, 8 for Van Gerwen, an 84 checkout, clips the wire on the wrong side, but he will return. He's a small matter of 172 ahead.
Yeah, I tell you what kind of mood he's in. He's angry that didn't go. This might go. Oh, another horrible deflection into the treble 5.
16 it is, called by the referee, and 16 hits. BG, that is a 3-0 set. His doubles are still at 67%. He really is fired up tonight. He's looking to put a statement out there so that everybody can talk about Michael Van Gerwen on New Year's Eve before he returns 1 day later. He's halfway there, averaging 103. That was a brilliant set from MBG. He's now 2-0 up on talkSPORT 2, and the conclusion of this match might be coming in the next 2 sets. Stay with us. Welcome back to Alexandra Palace. You're listening to the coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship with Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com. 33 cracking locations nationwide. And we've been to one of those cracking locations in Blackpool, haven't we?
We stay at one every year for the World Match Play, and we absolutely adore it. Cannot recommend it enough, especially for you being a golf nut, because there's literally, well, I sit and have a cold refreshment while I watch Nico come down the 18th.
Usually hitting the bunker on the 18th.
Yeah, there is a crafty little bunker there, isn't there?
Less said about that, the better. Anyway, the game at Old Trafford between Newcastle United and Manchester United has something in common with this one here between Van Gerwen and Jeffrey de Graaf, because Van Gerwen is somewhat batting for Newcastle here. He's got 2. De Graaf, playing for Man United, has got 0. So it's Man United 0, Newcastle 2, Van Gerwen 2, de Graaf 0. Is there any way back? And I'm not talking about Man U, I'm talking about de Graaf. He's averaging 89. Not laying a glove on Van Gerwen here.
No, didn't get a double in that set. It was all MVG. Well, in the darts today, it's 2-0 to Newcastle as well, versus the rest of the world.
With 1 to go.
With 1 to go.
Yeah, 2-0 to Michael, and he's playing very steady stuff, averaging around 103 both sets. Really good doubling, getting a max in each set. It's almost like a carbon copy. He's found a formula that's working, and he'll want to replicate it another 2 times. Yeah,
and that's exactly what I do. It was 103.79 to be exact in set 1. It was 102.48, which is 0.3 of a dart difference or something. It's marginal, and he did miss the odd couple of darts at a double there. He was 3 from 4 in set 1. He was 3 from 5 in set 2, and that's the 1 dart disparity in the numbers.
My question to you, Mace, at this point is that when Michael played Brendan Dolan, in the middle of the match, he did tail off. Will he learn from that and just give himself a little bit more impetus to try and get to 3-0?
Yeah, I think so, but I think de Graaf will possibly have a better set. He will have that mindset, oh, here we go, I've walked into Michael on 1 tonight, and he may now play with a bit of freedom and free roll until the point he maybe gets to a chance to win a set.
I love that you said that after Jeffrey started with a max, by the way. It's a really good start to the set from Jeffrey, who has to play arguably the game of his life from this point to get sets on the board against Michael, who is looking mean. And that is saying something, because he looks mean most of the time anyway.
Yeah, he'd make a great Bond villain, wouldn't he? Van Gerwen 2-6-8, leg 1 of set 3, leads 2-0 in sets. 140 from 225. He's backed up the 180 with a score in the 90s, and then a 140, 85 left. Well, it's 96, wasn't it?
Got some breathing space here on the 85, treble 19 and the double 14. What a fabulous start to the set that is from Jeffrey de Graaf, and we should not be surprised with legs like that, because if you think about how he ended some sets in his previous round when he played Paolo Nebreda yesterday afternoon, he finished 3 sets with a 13-darter, a 13-darter, and he finished the match with a 10-darter.
That's right, he did. He's in again here. Well, he was disappointed. The treble 20 was begging for a bedfellow, and he only ended up with a ton. MVG with a 140 finds a 180.
So there's the 180 for the set then.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen in the last 2 sets, he's not going to get any more unless he turns up the heat.
Well, he doesn't want one here because he'll bust. He's on 181. De Graaf on 261. Oh, it's just underneath. Comes for cover. Oh, that's not a bad accent. It's left in 130, which is an easier checkout than 121.
Well, Michael is guilty of doing the funniest thing ever from 181 by hitting a 141 checkout to lead tops after Dave Chisnell had missed 141 for a 9-darter.
In terms of housery, darts housery, that is the ultimate. So Chisnell's gone up.
65.
He wants 141 for the 9. He's gone 60, 57, just missed the 24. Ball for de Graaf. Wow. Hello. And he's missed it. Michael wants 181 after 9 himself. He goes 60, 57, 24 and sort of looks at him and says, that's how you hit the 9, mate. Ultimate darts housery. Look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious.
It's not the first time he's done it either. He's done it again in the Premier League since then. It's a performance from de Graaf.
Well, he's averaging 120 in this set. We did ask, or you asked, what does he have to do to get back in this match? Well, exactly what he's doing. A 180 in leg 1, went out in 11. A 180 in leg 2, he's gone out in 12.
Michael's probably having a Chris Mason moment right now, staring at Jeffrey saying, well, what are you doing?
What, you don't do that. He does, Michael, but not as often as we'd like.
Maybe just in 2 or 3 leg flashes, but that's what set play is all about.
That's all it needs, isn't it?
Now 134 from Van Gerwen.
You only have to do it in 3 of the 5 legs played.
270 for Michael. He's always trying to leave 270 after 6 or even after 9, because he knows he can stay straight after that and leave a 170 or a 130 finish. He should leave one of those from this visit. It turns out it is a 170.
The look on his face when he went treble 20, the other one went in, it was a look of, what? How's that happened?
Now, Michael's a family man these days. 2 young children, young Zoe and Mike Jr. with wife Daphne at home. I'm sure they will come over for New Year's Day if he's still here.
Mike Smith has a Mike Jr., doesn't he?
I'm sure that's not a coincidence.
No. I wonder if they'll end up playing on this Ali Pali stage against each other.
Well, Gary Anderson said that his son Ty is not playing darts. He's going to play football.
Yes.
80 for Van Gerwen, small 20 to start. Then a big one. That dart did spike upwards a little bit, too vertical. And he had to move across the hockey there just a little bit more than he wanted. And de Graaf has got 37 for the set. It's a strange number to leave 37. You don't practice this number. He's gone 1 for double 18. The last time he was here, he hit it first start. And he hits it again. He's hit Van Gerwen back by winning that set 3 legs to 0, averaging 112.73. Well, who saw that coming? Maybe we've got a game on our hands after all. talkSPORT 2 is your home of darts on the radio.
Well, we both felt that if de Graaf found his absolute optimum level, he could cause problems, and that optimum level was 112.73 in the set. And in terms of set averages, that probably doesn't even feature in the top 100 of greatest sets in World Championship history. But it's pushed his average up to 96 and closed the gap between himself and MVG. It's 2 sets to 1 to Michael.
Just to put it into perspective, the personal best average of Jeffrey de Graaf happened in 2020 when he beat Nando Press of Hungary at Q School. It was 105.8 in a 5-leg game. So he does have flashy stuff in the locker. Van Gerwen can sustain that level, though. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, even that was an offset for MVG. He still averaged 98.42. And only had 1 dart at a double, and it was tops right at the end of the set.
Speaking of tops, Michael's just hit it for a 13-dart start in set number 4. So we will have a 4-set break and more darts after it, unlike the last match where Stephen Bunting, I'm sure he's going to stay in London tomorrow and then come back for New Year's Day. It makes no sense to go back and forward.
No, I think that would be daft, and it's tiring. It's a hell of a drive from here. It's not necessarily the distance, it's just getting out of London.
437.
Be all right if you got a helicopter.
Oh yeah. We're not there yet in darts. It's not golf quite yet, but it's getting there. Barry Hearn was here tonight, holding court with the press. I'm sure one of the main topics will be the TV deals that got to be renewed with Sky and ITV towards the back end of 2025.
That's important stuff. Important stuff for the future of the sport. That's the job of Matchroom Sport, of course. Chairman Eddie Hearn. Seen him at this championship just before Christmas. De Graaf on 1-2-1. after 9. This is a sustained, better effort since the end of set 2. 96 for Van Gerwen, but de Graaf has a chance on 1-2-1. Doesn't get the treble 17 on dart 2 though, and now
wasn't a mile away, was it? Clipped the wire of the treble 17.
Is Michael going to stay on the 60 for the 96? He should have. He did, but he didn't find it with dart 2. He leaves tops once again and stares at the board as if to say, why don't you just give me what I give you? Or take what I give you. That's what I meant to say. Well, de Graaf looking to lead double 18 again, and why not? He keeps hitting it. 1 dart for 1 all in the 4th. Keeps hitting it. My word! Fast becoming the best double 18 hitter on the planet. That's how good he is.
Well, he's 4 from 4 in double attempts in the last 4 legs. He's running currently 5 from 7, 71%.
That's what Peter Wright was doing last night.
It was.
But Peter was averaging 100. De Graaf is only, I'll say only, 95 and a bit.
Yeah, he's 95, 71. He's probably a 10 or 11 darter off, averaging 100.
You know how Michael likes to pull his socks up? Right now, Jeffrey de Graaf is a stone in his socks. He's proving to be very annoying. It's 1 all in set 4, and this game might just be beginning. That focus of Michael Van Gerwen that we saw from the walk-on, it's going to have to be right there to the end, because de Graaf is now in this match.
Well, de Graaf is beginning to believe. And maybe MVG is beginning to have a few questions. He's down to 207 on throw. It's 1 all in set 4. De Graaf from 2-3-3. Boy, can he fill it? You better believe he can.
Leaves 53 after 9. What is Jeffrey de Graaf doing here? Is he on the cusp of giving us a bigger surprise potentially than 2 rounds ago? He's on 53. He's got to go 17 double 18.
For sure.
He hasn't missed double 18 in a century. It's a bit of an overstatement, but he has got the 17 right in the middle, and that bodes well. Double 18 is missed. Shock horror. Jeffrey de Graaf has missed double 18, and he's also missed double 9.
That should be the headline clickbait.
112 for Van Gerwen, the number 3 seed, for a 2-1 lead in the 4th. Again, on a combination, he's over the top, then underneath the treble 20, giving de Graaf another crack at 18
Split
points.
Straight for, oh, he's straight for it.
Hasn't taken his eye off double 9, and has hit it.
And now has the darts, Nico, to lever this match up at 2 sets apiece.
If you'd have said to me at the end of set 2 that this was about to happen, I would have said, is it April Fool's Day? This is not something you would have forecasted.
It wasn't in the script, and I expected to be approaching the M1 around about now. Treble 20 again.
First start was so good, and the fact that he walks away with a ton, it means he's left points out there.
MVG has done exactly the same.
Well, the thing is, people just joining us now on talkSPORT 2 for the World Darts Championship, for our constant darts on the radio coverage, which we've been here since the later part of 2017. You might think that Van Gerwen has been flagging in the last 2 sets. His average hasn't changed. It's still 103. It's getting a little bit better there with that 8th 140 of the contest. De Graaf has upped the levels.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he averaged 112.73 in the last set. He's averaging, well, close to 100 in this set, but only 57, and now he's left himself vulnerable for the break back from MVG.
Here he comes. 3 bits of red. And that might be the biggest celebration of the match so far, because he understands how big that maximum could be.
Well, de Graaf needs to answer here with minimum 140.
He doesn't do as much of that celebrating as he once did, but he's now 35 years of age. He is no longer a 21-year-old. 81 Van Gerwen needs for 2-2 in the 4th. Single 19.
Didn't even think about the 12 ball, Nico. And de Graaf on 80s, so his strike rate on the treble 20 is equally as good as MVG as he pulls his socks up.
He's got to go 18s on the 144, surely. Small 18 is not going to be good enough to get to the double. So Michael has us on the edge of our seats, on the edge of our smart speakers, because he's on double 8 with dart 2 and 3. Misses it twice after 16 as well. And De Graaf has got 41 and a smile on his face, looking to equalise.
5 double 18, Nico.
Has to be. Thinking about it. What you doing, Jeffrey? Of course it's a single 5. Hits it in the top right corner. Van Gerwen is not pleased. He might be in a level game. Double 18. Jeffrey De Graaf is with the 3 times world champion and has won the last 2 sets. He's the one who's happier now. It's not even Sunday. And as Michael Van Gerwen leaves the stage, he's like a Smith song, because heaven knows he's miserable now. We're not. We're loving this 4-set contest, but there's more to come. More on the plate. Get the knife and fork. Stay on talkSPORT 2, because the climax of De Graaf and Van Gerwen is coming up.
talkSPORT 2, official broadcast.
And things look rather bleak at the minute for Michael Van Gerwen. He is 2 sets all, but he was 2 sets to love up. Playing beautifully. His levels are about the same, but you can't ignore the timing of Jeffrey De Graaf, and you can't ignore the doubling in this match overall. But it's Jeffrey, Chris Mason, who is 64%, and he's needed to be.
Yeah, and he's 6 from 7 in the last 8 legs. He is, well, on fire. MVG there, 105 average in the set, and, well, apart from the 2 missed darts at double in leg 4, did little wrong. Won the opening leg in 13, and then it was a 15-dart hold with a max for De Graaf, a 13 throw with a max, and then stepped in after the missed darts from the green machine to win it with a 97. But he's, like you say, 7 from 11 on the doubles. It's 7 all in legs. It's 2 sets all. Big thanks to a shout out from a friend of mine, Marcus, who has advised everybody, if you want some alternative comedy, put the darts on your smart speaker and sync it up to your television and put it on mute. There you go.
Yeah, people have been doing that for years.
Yeah, they love it.
Fifth set getting underway, thanks to our referee and countdown champion, Kirk Bevins. Yes, don't take him on at words, numbers or trains, because he's an expert in all of them. And Jeffrey de Graaf is an expert at starting sets with a maximum, because it's the second time he's done it. Incredible stuff. It was that maximum at the start of set 3 that got all of this going.
Yeah, because he started with an 11-dart hold, then a 12-dart break with a max. Michael not looking particularly happy at the moment.
Why would he feel happy when he's playing really well and someone is doing to him what he's done to other people in the past? But you saw at the end of that fourth set a bit of an anomaly when it came to the averages.
Yeah, it's 105 getting beat by 97, but it was against the throw. That was why it was key, because normally it's the other way around, but it's just the off leg that de Graaf had. He picks off the ball nearly twice. The newsflash, Nico, we may get 3 out of 3 tonight. Not chickens, but we had Bunting to win most 180s, and we had over 11.5 180s in this match. And listen, there's 10 with a lot of darts to go.
Absolutely, we're going to get a few sets in this one. 1-4-5 for de Graaf. Started on the treble 19 and got it, but wasn't able to get the treble 20 to lead double 14. Van Gerwen, who has pitched his tent and left 90 after 9, needs it. He goes for treble 18 and gets it. This is gutsy. He's hit 4 on double 18 and he's missed double 16. Just when you think he's going to start the set buoyantly, he makes not 1 but 2 big errors. Fifth Graaf, he's getting too many shots at double 18, this guy. He's got it again, 2 in hand. Misses it, but now double 9. Plan B, how is it, Jeffrey? Bad dart, misses it half an inch low.
Yeah, overthought that for me. Double 8 for MVG, 13-dart break of throw. Now, how costly will them 2 missed darts at a double B?
Let me ask you this, Mace. We've been here since day 2, watching every dart.
Day 1. We've been broadcasting since day 2.
Well, you know, we've been here since the start. The doubling in this tournament, we don't have official stats yet because we want to allow it to go through to the final. Then we'll look at them in detail. But we've been covering a lot of World Championships and we played in a lot. I've never seen a tournament with such doubling stats as we've seen here.
No, we've been sort of keeping a mental count of where it's been, and it's another reason to join us for our preview show on the 3rd, prior to the final. We'll bring you all these kind of stats, because I think potentially, Nico, it could be record-breaking.
I have to agree. We've already seen an equaling of the rest of 5 sets from Paulo Nebreda when he got 9 from 11. That's only been done 3 times before. Van Gerwen pulling up his socks again. Usually it works, but from 228, all he wants to do is get to a finish, and ultimately in this leg get 2-0 up in set 5.
Yeah, and de Graaf does have the he just takes sets off, doesn't he? And that didn't go in either, and he's doing it here. He's averaging just 82 to MVG's 109.
Even he can't bridge that gap.
No, he's just beginning to find it a bit tough as he shot all his bullets. 66 left for MVG, confirmed by Kirk Bevins. De Graaf back on 2-3-6. He's a leg down already in this 5th set. It's 2-2 in sets.
I wonder if that break has come at exactly the wrong time for Jeffrey. Since then, he has not played well at all, and Michael is back to business.
Well, those breaks give you too much time to think about what's going on.
Double 8, Van Gerwen for 2-0, and it's right in the heart. We have a Desmond game in sets, but it's 2-0 in set 5. Van Gerwen loosening up the... looking a bit more relaxed now. That's key. We were talking on Aces and Arrows this morning about if you're going to win a World Championship, you've got to be able to throw with ease. It's not as easy as it once was for Michael, technically, but he is trying his best to not try.
Yeah. Yeah, the closed hand now is difficult, because from time to time when he does try, gauging those extra muscles means he can't open the hand quick enough.
So he's evolving with the throw the same way that Phil Taylor did. And
Correct.
sometimes, well, for someone like Michael, it's going to take a bit longer. With Phil, he could probably change it in about 3-4 months.
De Graaf, 2-6-1, 2 single 20s, 2-0 down in set 5. Only 57, so Michael from 2-2-4, 6 from here, should put him a set clear and a set away.
De Graaf there changed his plan on the switch way too late, and Michael makes him pay for it. Jeffrey left 2-0-4 with a bad last start in his previous visit, and Van Gerwen's on Moortown to finish this set off. 4 tops if he wishes. He goes for 12, double 16 just on the outside, and the next one just on the inside. So De Graaf on 144 will probably look at the 54.
Yeah, had that gone in, that set would have been around 113 for Michael Van Gerwen, and that's some response. 2 single 20 is a long way off. So double 8 for MVG after just 12 darts thrown.
Eagle-eyed on the double 8, hasn't taken his eyes off it, even though he's missed it with dart 1. Dart 2 registers. There's a whole host of 3-0 sets going on here. Toing and throwing like a Newton's cradle, this one. But Van Gerwen is, after a bit of a scare in sets 3 and 4, now ahead and 1 set away from being in the quarterfinals yet again. And that is the ideal way to start the next set after winning one. In the last 16, Van Gerwen at the PDC World Championship has been here 12 times. He has succeeded at this stage 10 times. That's an exceptional record. And when he's been in the last 16, he has not lost since 2016. There's a whole lot of 16s going on.
Yeah, and it's interesting here that the way the form of De Graaf, 97 average in a set, 78.93, 112.73, an 87, a 97. Now compare this to MVG, 103.79, a 98.42, a 0.95, 104.86. Need I say any more? The reliability and the way to sustain this level of play is the difference between the two players.
Well, that sums up his career. 1-2-6 for Van Gerwen, a double 18. Didn't even need the 19s. He went 60, treble 10, double 18. Oh, and he enjoyed that one, didn't he? He really enjoyed it.
I think he went that way because De Graaf's had so much success on double 18s that you're not the only one that can hit it, pal.
Well, these guys grew up together in Dutch darts before Jeffrey moved to Sweden. They know each other well, and anything that Michael does, it has a reason. When he's gone that way, it was the right thing to do because his opponent wasn't even on a finish, but he has just shown Jeffrey that he's ready to finish the job if Jeffrey's not ready to come back. I love that vernacular, by the way. Sustained reliability. That's going to be a thing. I'm going to make sure of it.
It is. It's just, we talk about leg-on-leg pressure. This is set-on-set pressure. And what he's done is he's sort of looked at what he's probably just absorbed what De Graaf has done in this match so far, and he's not panicked. He's not once hit the panic button, got frustrated. He's gone, right, it's okay, mate, you can have them 112s and 97 averages in it, but you've got to keep doing it, and you can.
Have you ever heard of anything called osmosis in science? It's when something travels through a semi-permeable membrane. It's like something is soaking up something and letting it pass. That's what you've got to be as a dart player. I know that's a bit nerdy.
No, I think right.
So if something disappointing happens, you allow it to come in and then you let it go. 2-4-5 Van Gerwen. He's thrown 9 darts in this leg. He's now thrown 12 to leave 148. First to the finish. De Graaf on 196. Craving a 7th maximum. He's not going to get it.
there's 6 apiece in that department.
Don't go for the treble 20, Jeffrey. You've blocked it twice. Don't be silly, Jeffrey. Okay, be silly, Jeffrey. You've just paid the penalty, haven't you? That was like trying to pass to someone on the NFL field who's 150 yards away. Makes no sense. 148 Van Gerwen, he's not going to take it out, but he has got a treble 19 with dart 2 to make it slightly easier.
Treble 13, yeah, just misses for 32. Unless the Graaf can 158, and he's yet to find a ton plus out. No, he's not going to. 18 tops for MVG when he returns to go within 1 of a very, very impressive performance. Currently averaging 103.36.
Strong word, that. When. He does come back and he takes it out in 2. This is a great set and a typical set as well. 2 legs, averaging about 103.5. I think we sometimes forget about this kind of performance. We look at what Rids has done, averaging 107 against Gerber in round 1. That was brilliant. He averaged 105 a couple of days ago. But someone who is playing in set number 6 here and still averaging 103, this is sustained reliability, and this is the kind of form that can win the Sydney.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, MV, look at Peter Wright. That was the epitome of sustained reliability. 71% on his doubles, an average of 100. Normally, when you see a stat like that of 71% from a player of that ilk, you're thinking it's got to be an 110 average, hasn't it? Didn't need to be.
Jeffrey de Graaf.
He's grafting.
10th 140. 23 ton pluses. He's not that far behind in the scoring stakes, but it's Michael who's had the timing. Troubleless visits. Van Gerwen has barely had any. For 6 sets, having 11, that is amazing.
Filthy. Absolute filth. 25 to de Graaf, so 14 more, and that at times has been his undoing.
278 for Michael. First start is prime. Can he give it a bedfellow? He's going to go to the 18s and get Joy there instead. So 134 leaves 1-4. A number that we've seen quite a lot in this match.
It's about the 4th time, isn't it? It's popped up.
Yeah, de Graaf cracks at it different ways, but Michael will have it to win this match with a 2nd consecutive 3-0 set. He has been tested, Michael, but this may be the end for Jeffrey's run. The best run by a Swedish player in PDC darts history. It might be over because Michael Van Gerwen is on double 12 and has missed it low by an inch. He hates that dart, but he's probably going to like the fact that he's coming back.
Yeah, you could see him just give that a little bit too much. He was a little bit too tight. Really wanted to finish in a bit of flair, and almost deserved it, this performance.
Double 6 for Michael Van Gerwen. Clips the wire on the outside. Then misses inside. But hits double 3. G shows a little bit of MV genius to get through to New Year's Day. He's made it when others couldn't, and he has been tested tonight. Make no mistake. Jeffrey put up one heck of a fight. They go way back, but Jeffrey's going back to Sweden, and Michael is coming back in 2 days for another crack at the Sid Waddell Trophy. Fascinating stuff. Michael is 1 win away from winning quarter number 4, and the person standing in his way will be Callan Rids.
Yeah, and listen, we know what levels he can produce. He's already produced a set in this tournament of 120. I don't think Michael will hold too many fears for this version of Callan Rids, but what Callan has got to do was what he did today: resist trying to go with the opponent, look after your own game, and he may well run Van Gerwen. He will beat him, but that was a pleasure to commentate on for both players.
He averaged 101.98, 11 140s and 6 maximums with 46% on the doubles, and 2 ton plus finishes as well. 2 ton plus finishes of the match. There is nothing not to like about that performance, because when he was pushed, he found that extra gear that you need to win sets like he has tonight. Very, very pleased. He's on the stage talking to the media right now. I'm sure we'll get words from Michael before he departs to spend New Year's Eve with his friends, and he will come back on New Year's Day. I'm sure he's going to be playing the evening session. He usually does. It'd be quite interesting if he gets an afternoon session game, Mace.
Yeah, well, with the lineup, you never know, but I think it'd be unlikely with the impact Rids has made and his reputation. I think they'll be getting the plum draw.
Well, it's been a pleasure commentating with you before New Year, Mace. We wish you well.
And I wish you well, and all of our team here at talkSPORT, and of course all of our listeners, Happy New Year. And well, if you're travelling around, look after yourself and stay safe.
When you're in the car, get talkSPORT 2 on.
Oh, it's on, mate.
You know it makes sense.
It's already on. It's already on there.
Well, he's off for New Year. He'll be back on New Year's Day. Don't fear. Mace is going to be back, as we all will. But we're going nowhere. We've still got one more match to give you, and it's a small matter of Luke Littler. He's got Ryan Joyce in his way, who started this doubling bonanza a few days back when he had 62% against a certain Ryan Searle. What can he do against Littler? Littler versus Joyce is next on talkSPORT 2.